Book your driving lesson now at dla-driving.co.uk. Sponsored by DLA Driving Schools.
Hello and welcome to Owen the Town. 2 games in a week for us. A deserved win against Stoke City in my opinion. And then we come tumbling straight back down to earth with yet another defeat on the road at Blackburn Rovers. We can talk a little bit more about both games shortly. And then there was that sending off. Walsh for the second time in a Hatter shirt in next to no time on the pitch was shown a straight red card for what I thought was a diabolical challenge. Then Captain Colton, he went over and he wasn't impressed, was he? And we're going to talk about his reaction and how Walsh reacted as well. We got your 3-word reviews. We got news about Power Court and a couple of other things too. If you're on YouTube, you'll already see we've got one down. Darren's not here. He's living the high life in Edinburgh. But with me, we have Bataro and Steve. Welcome along, fellas.
Good evening.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Good to be back.
Yeah, it's good to see you, by the way. But I wish it was... Stop it, Steve. I wish it was in better circumstances from Saturday's game. Mm-hmm. But Tuesday's game was a little bit different, wasn't it?
I thought it was a really good performance, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I thought Clark had his best game of the season. You know, his passes were invariably of a much higher percentage accuracy. He was looking for the ball a lot more. I thought Moses had a decent game as well.
Moses on that wing absolutely went at him, didn't he?
Well, this is it. It's good to see us actually being positive with the ball. And the fact that I think I don't think we had too much possession, but I thought we had a lot more than what they suggested. But it was good to see us actually have a go and get the ball in the box as well. I mean, don't get it wrong, there was a lot of crosses that were in the box that were very poor, but we played the ball around and then we made the effort to get it in the box. That's the main thing.
I think on the previous pod we done, I sort of alluded to Morris not really sort of being like a goal threat, you know, because of the amount of work that he's had to do, and he was, and you know, even at Blackburn, you can sort of say, well, you know, he's sort of, you know, creating chances and trying to score goals, whereas not just being a workhorse. So you know, that's a positive, I think.
Yes, yeah.
Sometimes you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't in this game of ours, and there'll be some fans that reacted and said, well, Stoke were rubbish anyway, so we were going to beat them in that way. But I felt that we started really strong against Stoke City. I thought we sort of kept the ball well, played the ball well.
Like I said, I felt like consistently throughout the game, I thought we was in control. I don't think at any point they looked like they were going to...
Didn't feel like they were going to break away and score.
No, not at all. I mean, every time they got the ball, I think they probably lost it within about 15, 20 seconds, didn't they, anyway? It's like watching us, wasn't it?
If we just talk briefly about the 2 goal scorers, it's Carlton Morris and Adebayo. First time apparently they've scored in the same game. I find that unbelievable.
Really?
Unbelievable. Yeah, see? You're
really?
Yeah, really.
No.
That is staggering. That is staggering. I was disappointed with their goal when they went 1-0 up. Hashi got done with a pass on the inside, didn't he?
I forgot that bit.
Yeah.
I forgot that bit. And it was Hashi getting done, and it was like same old. But actually, we took the game on more then after that.
Yeah, I was really pleased with that because it could have gone on to have been a 2 or 3-0. But
heads could have dropped, couldn't they?
Yeah, but there seemed to be a bit of a determination about them. They were, we're not going to go down this path tonight. And I just thought it was much more on it. I thought Clark was really good, as I say, and Morris was, you know, a threat, and you know, Elijah was sort of working hard. So I thought we deserved the win.
Oh, 100%, I agree.
Elijah's touch for the goal was fantastic, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was, and to see how he redirected that shot in,
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
So you think that was a shot from Krause, do you? It was just a volleyed pass to him.
Well, he wasn't a pass, was it?
He's after a key contribution for that.
Yeah, he wasn't. He definitely wasn't a pass.
Yeah, but no, the way he
was just putting it back in
just flicked it on, didn't he? And yeah, it was a great end to the game.
That's brilliant. I mean, that is some finish, by the way. The little swivel and a little turn, and then just to like hook it into the far corner kind of thing. Oh, beautiful.
How many times have we been saying this though about Adebayo? You know, he's absolutely nothing when his confidence is down. He offers nothing, you know, and then he gets one, and then suddenly, you know, he scored up at Norwich, he scored again. He just seems to have real sort of gluts that he goes through.
If you haven't seen it already and you've watched the highlights back and with the Sky commentator on, he basically says about Adebayo, he's been quiet all this half and he turns up with this. And I think, well, I'm happy with that.
Yep.
And off the back of that...
And that's the magic he's got, though, isn't it? That's it.
It bounces up the table a few places. So you go to Blackburn, and let's be realistic, when you're at Blackburn Rovers, who are on fire at the moment, they're bombing up the division, they haven't lost at home for a long time. We haven't really, we've beaten them quite a lot up there. We haven't lost up there for quite a number of years. But you go off the back of previous away performances. We've already done, 6 on the bounce before that, and we haven't won one. What are you thinking?
Do you know, it's going to sound ridiculous. I'm still, in every single game that we have, home or away, I'm still sitting there before the game going, we can still get a result here. Maybe I'm stupid for thinking that. Maybe, possibly, probably. I am definitely stupid for thinking that. But you know what? I have to be positive because I've said it before. It's the thing that keeps me going. Well, otherwise I'll just sit there miserable and just probably cry or whatever. So, yeah.
I think this is the sadness as to how this season's panning out, because on previous occasions, the last sort of couple of times we've been to Ewood Park, you know, we were really hopeful of getting a win and certainly not expecting to lose the game. They are in good form, but I don't think that they were disastrous in previous years. It's just that we are nowhere near as strong as we were on the campaign that we got the promotion.
That's the disappointing thing as well. We're not as strong as we want to be, as most of us fans want to be, given that we've told before the squad. But now some people are questioning the squad itself and saying it's not good enough, and you know, January can't come along quick enough. I sort of agree. We need some injection of some new people and some new vigour into the team. But there you go. We was at Blackburn, and we all know what happened. But let's have a look at your 3-word reviews for Blackburn 2, Luton Town 0. Andy says another abject performance. Joe went as expected. Mark, no real surprise. Dan, Walsh stealing living. Chris, same old excuses. Colin, woeful on travels. Matt, League One defending. Ruben, there's zero consistency. And Dwayne, devoid of ideas. If you'd like to pick one or two of those, it's up to you, boys. Can you go first, Patara?
I will go with Matt. League One defending, because I think it's been like that all season. I'll be honest, I think it's been horrendous. I think, am I right in thinking that we have maybe the second worst defence in the league, or the worst?
Probably the worst.
And I think that says it all. That is League One defending. Possibly League Two defending.
It's just on their heels so often, aren't they? Whereas previous Luton defences
resilient
would be absolutely launching themselves at the ball or the player to block a shot. We just seem to be like statues now.
It's weak.
Why do you think that has changed, Batari?
I don't know. We say the same thing every week. I don't know. Is it the tactics? Is it...
That's got to be down to mentality of the players.
They think they're better, maybe.
Well, I was about to ask you, Batara, are the players good enough for the role they put in?
Sorry, are they good enough?
Are they good enough for the role they've been asked to do?
I mean, well, why not? I mean, for example, McGuinness, I think he's actually played really well, in all fairness to McGuinness, the last however long. Obviously, he was a bit slow at the beginning of the season when we first signed him. But players, I mean, when they're fit, Burke, of course, got us promoted. Amari Bell, got us promoted. Brilliant player. I know he's not fit at the moment or whatever else.
But the recurring injuries are not helping us.
No, of course.
That's what we said. We said last time. But pretty much for a year or so, Bell has been a part-time player.
Which is a shame as well, because for me he's one of our best defenders as well. But especially in that centre half region. But I don't know. Tom Holmes, we've not really seen a lot of him. He stepped up maybe to a different level.
We were saying last time that Holmes, is a proper central defender.
Yeah, I like him, by the way. I think he's a good
with the
player.
way that he plays. And I think Darren said he reminded him of Sonny a bit.
Yeah.
And knowing how much you love Sonny, would you say the same?
To a certain extent, yes. I mean, I think he's a bit more aggressive. I just feel like he's a proper. He reminds me more of Tom Lockyer, in my opinion.
You've got to say there's not a lot of pace in that defence.
No.
This is what I was about to say. Pace is an issue at the moment. McGuinness, Holmes, and who was the other centre half on Saturday?
I don't know, but I mean, even Burke. I think Burke's an exceptional defender, but I don't think he's.
Yeah, of course. But for me, I think the issue is the way we set up and the way we play is so. It's so flat and slow paced. I feel like that's the mentality. Your pace, your mentality, your brain becomes almost slower as well. When you're watching that in front of you, and it's very slow, very passive, and then all of a sudden a team turns it on, it's quick, bang, 2, 3, 4 passes in quick succession. I feel like they're like shit. It's not what to do because the brain's not warmed up yet. Because they're watching such mundane football. I think that's a problem.
Steve, you didn't pick one. You want to pick one? Take your time.
No real surprise. And again, that's alluding
That's a shame, though, isn't it? It's
that's
a shame.
exactly it. That is the shame because no one was at all surprised about how it panned out.
We were hoping off the back of the Stoke performance that it might get something going from Blackburn away. And
We've hoped this several times now.
I get that because
So
as a fan, you should hope for that.
Yeah, no, exactly. But you get the papering over cracks routine that we've discussed this numerous times. It's just so stop-start, isn't it?
Consistency is what we want, and the one thing we are consistently good at is losing away, which is quite annoying, isn't it?
Being consistently shit. Sorry.
The team was unchanged from the Stoke game, and that doesn't surprise me. I think, like we said, we got to give them a go. We started quite well, and actually, I thought we started quite well, and we kept the ball a bit, played it around a bit. Didn't really create too much, but
we've seen that in a few times games, haven't we?
And I'm just thinking, as it gets to the 30th minute, if we get to half time here, we might just surprise a few people. And as I thought that, what happens? They score. And can we just talk about the lead up to that goal? We look at how Kraus got turned, maybe.
Well, yeah, I mean, firstly, we said, didn't we? Obviously, straight away, I think you pointed out, Kraus gets absolutely turned. I think he just sort of like stands there, he gets the ball not past him, he just stands there and goes, oh, fair enough, mate, well done. Doesn't move toward, doesn't even make any effort to chase after him or whatever, fine. No one then closes him down. The only player that I see is Elijah Adebayo, tracking back from whatever position, a centre forward's position. What is he doing with everyone standing around? He's then ventured past our whole midfield and defence at this point, and Adebayo's the only one on his tail. Where is everyone? Everyone's just watching. The ball watching is phenomenal. It's Sunday League. It's actually, do you know what? I'm going to say it's pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, when the goal goes in, McGuinness, he's just on his heels. He's almost, again, we say it all the time, but previous defenders or regimes would have been going all out to block the shot. There was just no appetite to stop the shot at all.
It's not like throwing your bodies in the line of the line of fire, basically.
McGuinness can't just sort of like jockey the position. He's got to get right in front of it. There was just no appetite to put their body on the line to stop the shot.
And he wasn't the only one either, though, to be fair, that could be guilty of that either. He wasn't the only one.
On that moment, you're right about Adebayo. He was the only one that had got back sort of in front of him. But, really, the defender should have been doing that.
Of course. And the thing is, like you say, obviously, when you're centre after your midfielder, you're standing there watching while your guy's got a shot away, and he's obviously beating Kaminsky, who, let's face it, he was onside as well. There's no chance for him.
Yeah, I mean, when the goal went in, Kraus was absolutely furious with himself, because he knew that he'd been done up like a kipper. He did jog back sort of into the centre, into the penalty area, but it was literally just
it was a job,
he wasn't trying to make up for it, but he was furious, but.
So was Clark.
Yeah, that's right. We keep having these players furious about something that they haven't done. And that's the frustrating bit. Why are they always so angry with themselves because of a mistake? I don't know why it keeps happening.
Okay, goal goes in, and to be fair to Gosia Dewberry, It was he finished well.
Yeah, it was a nice
He's a
strike.
young lad, isn't he? Is he on loan? Isn't he not on loan from
I
somewhere?
don't know, if I'm honest. Is he not an Arsenal loan, is he?
One of those. Arsenal, Chelsea, maybe. We'll get Jacob to check that out for us because
Everyone's probably sitting there like listening going, you lot don't know what you're talking about.
No, we don't really. Take nothing away from the shot. And, they go 1-0 up and you just think, well, now we have to get to half-time at 1-0, not 2. And we go down the other end and we create a chance for ourselves.
Elijah,
good shot.
Yeah.
And then the follow-up from Chong, maybe he cuts that in a bit better. And
It's an angle, man. It's an angle. It's an angle.
I thought that was a good save from the keeper. But you know how luck is also against you at these times. The keeper parried it straight out into the centre of the goal and he went straight to one of their defenders who cleared it. Yeah. There wasn't a Luton attacker there. Whereas with us, if Kaminsky parries one out, it seems to go straight to one of their guys. So it goes against you. When you're struggling as well. I thought there was no problem with the shot from Chong. I thought it was a good save. I mean, it was nice bit of interplay as well that led to Elijah's shot. His shot wasn't straight at the keeper. The keeper made a comfortable save.
Yeah, and it's like if it weren't for bad luck, we wouldn't be having any at all right now. So it's one of those things. So you think of just get in at 1-0, just get into half time at 1-0, and then Beck pops up on the 41st minute. And I don't know how to describe this goal because I wanted offside at one point.
I think they were trying to play the offside trap, weren't they? The back 3 or 4, whatever.
It just.
We think it looks like McGuinness had played him on though, don't we?
I've not overanalyzed it, but I want him to call offside there, or the lines person to call it offside. And then they go and they put the cross in, and that's miss of the season to start with.
Oh, yeah.
How he doesn't score initially from that. I don't know who that was, by the way.
No, that was Works football though, wasn't it?
Yeah. But the disappointing thing is the space and the time the follow-up from Beck had to actually just slot it in, and how he wasn't closed down at all.
And it goes straight in the near post as well. Was it Moses falls to the floor?
Yep.
And then obviously Kaminsky's beating his near post, which I'm not blaming Kaminsky, by the way.
No, but it's exactly the same as the first goal. Moses just holds his ground. He doesn't go to block.
Yeah, but if he charges him, the shot's harder.
Yeah, exactly.
The shot is much, much harder, and maybe it strikes him and goes off for a corner or whatever.
That's exactly what I'm saying. He just holds his ground. You've got to try and charge the shot down.
I'm going to try and raise a point here. I don't know if you'll agree with this either, but seeing, because a few times, especially on Saturday, you see Moses and Chong, the wing-backs, back within deeper than the 12-yard penalty spot, deeper than that, trying to defend. That to me is concerning. When you have two wide players like that, yes, I understand they're playing the wing-back position, but that is concerning because they're both attacking-minded players. They cannot defend. I'm sorry, they cannot defend. And that to me screams out the tactics needs to change because when you've got them as one of your last points of defence, you have issues. You will concede goals and it will happen.
Yep, can't disagree with it. I mean, they're not the best defenders, are they?
No, of course.
No, I mean, that's not what Chong is about.
No, of course, this is it.
So
you want to see him high at the pitch. Even Moses, I know he used to play wing back for Chelsea back in the day occasionally, but let's face it, Chelsea, much better team, further up the pitch. Us at the moment, we're pinned back in our own half. We can't get out of our own half.
No.
And to have them two wing backs, you need defensive minded wing backs. If that's the the thing that you want to play, not attacking players, because that to me is ridiculous.
Let's be fair to the club as well. I mean, yeah, we had a bit of possession second half, and you're thinking, well, get the possession, get a goal, and then you're back in at 2-1. Maybe Blackburn panic a bit. A couple of chances, one for Morris that skipped past the post briefly.
That he was claiming for a corner, wasn't it? That one.
Yeah, and you look at that and think, okay, come on, boys, you can do it. And then Rob makes a substitution, and we're probably going a little bit more in depth into this. Liam Walsh comes on,
and then he goes off. Yeah, I mean, Morris had two headers.
Yeah, one header, one shot.
Yeah, one of them he was at the back post and sort of nodded it back in. But one of the people that he beat to that was Elijah. So it's great that Morris is attacking these crosses at the moment. You know, I mean, the one where he headed back, it was quite a high sort of big cross and that, so he couldn't really do a lot with it. But, you know, I said on previous occasion that, you know, it's been a while since Morris has looked like a goal threat.
Yeah,
you know,
but he was on it. He was on it the weekend.
No, that's right. That's right.
The delivery's been a lot better for him as well recently, isn't it?
Well,
they've been going up deep in the back post as well.
Delivery is the one thing that you need. If you don't get the delivery, that sort of striker's not going to score goals.
Of course.
And then, like we talk about, the ball not breaking for you as well, and then that causes more issues. But, well, let's just go straight to it. Let's just you know, look, we lost 2-0, and Blackburn fans are elated, and we're sitting there going, "What next?" Well, Derby at home. Thank God it's a home fixture. At some point, we've got to break that away form. We've got to get a win away, haven't we?
When we got Watford?
At the moment, I'm glad it's February.
Yeah.
I'm glad it's February because at the moment, if we went to Vicarage Road, I think none of us would be taking the tickets on because you go there full of fear. They have actually, Tom Cleverley, isn't it, in charge of them? He's had the best ever start of home wins in the entire leagues. Better than Pep, better than anyone else.
Let's not talk about them.
Yeah, no, but here's the point, right? If we went on our current away form to Vicarage Road this weekend, none of us would go with any hope whatsoever. And we'd probably be right, and we'd probably take another. Probably take another spanking like we did last time we went up there. And so we've got a month or so to get that into order. Just for that game. The away form surely has to change at some point.
Well, it does, but it's only going to change with sort of subtle tweaks and an awful lot more belief and togetherness as to how they're playing. But it is amazing, you know, I think we're all really hopeful and expectant of a big transfer window. It only takes 2 or 3 to really get the enthusiasm going again. So
someone with a little bit of quality.
It was obviously this time of year you're going to get rumours left, right and centre, but apparently Arsenal got some young Brazilian lad that they've recalled from a loan, and you know it's been alleged on Twitter that Luton have bid between 5 to 7 million.
Okay.
So you know, but it only takes 2 or 3 of signings like that, and the whole sort of outlook changes, doesn't it? So fingers crossed we can get some really early business done in that window.
It needs to be early. It needs to be bang on early.
Yeah.
And then get them in the team.
Because we need desperate help right now.
There's a lot of this on social medias too, so I'll ask you both individually. Do you still believe we're in a relegation battle, or do you feel that we it's hard to say, are we too good for relegation, because that's the wrong saying, but do you expect us to be more mid-table, sort of like
of course,
in January?
Of course. I mean, I'm never going to say we're in a relegation battle, but the longer it goes on, the more concerning it becomes. I mean, you look at Sunderland a few years ago when they came down from the Premier League and they went straight back down again. And look at the squad they had back at the time.
And they spent a number of years in another division as well.
And so it's not a given that we're staying up. Don't get it wrong, I still believe that we're not in a relegation battle. I'm not saying that. But the longer it goes on, and if we're only averaging out the amount of points that we're averaging at the moment per game.
1.
Is that what it is at the moment? Roughly, just 1 point something, is it, or whatever? But
okay,
if we get to February and it's still the same, then yes, we're 100% in the relegation battle.
Well, Steve agrees. I can tell by the look on his face, because you said this last week.
Yeah, we are, but also I think the whole of the bottom 10 or 11 are in relegation battle, because that's the nature of the division. So we absolutely are. And if you think, I'm sure the playing side and the management and all that lot, they're not thinking that way, but it should never creep up on you that you're in trouble. They'll know exactly what the score is, but the bottom 10 or 11 are in relegation battle. Yeah,
100%. And the fact is, right, from my point of view, my personal point of view is, obviously, a while back, or not even a while back, even a few weeks ago, I was sitting there going, oh, you know, it only takes 2 or 3 wins to get back up there, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, the longer now the season goes on, the more games you play, I've lost that hope now. Because I'm looking at the divide between the top half, the top 8 or whatever, or the 6, even the top 6, 7 or whatever. I'm looking at us. I'm thinking there's no chance in hell we're catching that. Not a chance.
Would you be disappointed? Would you be disappointed if we didn't make the playoffs?
Well, are we really going to make
No,
playoffs?
just go back to what your expectations were at the beginning of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be disappointed if we don't make the playoffs this season?
Well, from originally what we thought, yes. I mean, admittedly, we should be doing a lot better than what we're doing. But I think at the moment, at present, we need to be realistic now and go, do you know what? I'll be happy with the top half finish.
Top half finish, I think we said this the other week too.
At the moment.
Yeah, I think start the season, if we don't get into the playoffs, then you'll be disappointed. Where we are now, I would be amazed if we got into the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree with you. I just
How
wondered.
many points, by the way, off the playoffs are we?
I don't know. I've,
9?
Do you know what? I don't think I've actually looked at the table all season.
When you say 9,
That's a lot.
it doesn't. Well, you say it's a lot, but it doesn't feel like it's a lot.
Yeah, but
It's
then you've
3
got to
wins.
catch up 9 on them teams that are on form that are still climbing up the table. That's the
Some
point.
people always drop off a little bit of form.
But again,
course.
Pataro, that is the nature of this division
Yeah,
means
okay,
that
yeah.
9 points, you really could do that in sort of 4 or 5 games.
Equally, we're really close to the bottom 3. So, it's a bit of a difficult one, isn't it?
Oh, look at Portsmouth the other day. They've still got 2 or 3 games in hand as well over us and a couple of teams as well. We played
Games in hand don't mean anything.
No,
though.
I know, but
Sunderland know
still,
that.
it still concerns. It still concerns me, though, Steve. I'll be honest.
Can we just talk about the challenge then from Walsh? Look, we've seen him come on a sub before and last 10 seconds. And on Saturday he comes on, he, I think, makes a reckless challenge. And it basically blows any chances of us competing after that, don't you think?
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think we had a little discussion, didn't we? A little minor discussion before, obviously, we start recording. Obviously, I think you're both in agreement that it was a stupid tackle.
It's a very stupid tackle.
It was unnecessary, but I'll be honest, I'll probably get a lot of stick for this, but I genuinely think I thought he went for the ball. I don't think there was any malice or intent. I think he genuinely thought he was going to get the ball, and he's only got tiny little legs. And bless him.
He's only got time.
And bless
Steve,
it, yeah.
He's so weak.
Yeah, you know about it, Steve. That's the thing.
I would. What I'd like to ask is then, he comes on. He probably wants to make an impact, Steve, and that ball goes sort of loose, and they're both going for it. Is Bataro right? Was it? Do you give him a benefit of the doubt for that?
No, because I think it's a pathetic tackle. In the modern game, you cannot sort of go in the way he did. He was over aggressive. He was out of control, according to the referee. It's going to be a red card. He didn't go over the top like he did in the first one, Bataro. You're absolutely right about that when we was chatting about that. But it was still a heavy tackle, and he was nowhere near the ball. I thought it is a tackle of a player low on confidence and angry about his situation, and I don't care. They always say, "Oh, he's a nice lad," he's so. It's irresponsible. It is really irresponsible, and it was a rubbish tackle.
The only question I will ask you, though, Steve, on that note, right, is I'll put it this way: if he didn't go for that tackle, for example, right, and the ball was there to be won, I'm not saying it was a 50-50. Clearly, it wasn't. Because like I said, he's got tiny legs. But anyway, so it's probably like a 70-30 edge. It's obviously the other bloke. But if he didn't go and attempt to try and tackle, I'll put it to you as well, Dave. I'll ask you the question. If he didn't attempt to get that ball and just let him go past him, glide past him, then would you be screaming out to go, you should have made an effort? That's all I will ask.
Yeah, but there's still a way of going in with a hard tackle. You can't go aground in that aggressive manner now. That's the cold, hard fact of it. He could have gone in hard, but standing up, like a block challenge or something like that. He didn't have to go into ground. As soon as he does that, misses, hurts the guy. In the current climate, that's a red. And he knows that.
The only thing is, I've only seen it from one angle, and one angle I have seen, it just kind of looks like he has to. I know I'm going to say he has lunged. Yeah, of course he's lunged.
I've seen it from behind the goal as well, where it's sort of out in front.
Okay.
And it doesn't look any better, to be honest with you.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, so I might have to see that one as well. But it's just, he does, like you say, he does lunge, and unfortunately it happens.
We can talk about the send-off, but then the reaction of the players around him, the Blackburn players are all around him, and Carlton Morris gets in there. I mean, firstly, I think, isn't it Clicker that gets in to stop them having a go at him?
Yeah, a couple of them are having a go.
So you're sort of protecting your own player there, but then when he gets up and he gets the red, Carlton Morris looked physically angry with him.
Yes, didn't he push him in the back to get off the pitch?
Twice.
Yes, so
now,
there you go.
My question to you guys is, was that because he was bloody livid about the reaction? Because at that point, you felt that we might be trying to get back in the game. Whether or not we would have done is another matter. But Is that because he doesn't want him to get any? He was going back to argue with the referee, or was it just a case of get off the pitch because you have let us down?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, go on, Steve, go
on. I don't think he's gone to have another word with the referee, to be honest with you. But he has already, sort of tried to have a moan about it. I think Morris is just so furious about about the tackle, the fact that he's got sent off again. He's going to see it as another game gone, and it's just another example of how much Morris cares about the team and the club. Following on from how he reacted up at Middlesbrough when he said, they're taking the effing piss out of you, so you cannot challenge Carlton, and. A lot of people might say that captaincy, that's along the lines of Kevin Nichols, the G'ing up and the,
No, of course.
Almost like a bollocking when you let the team down so obviously as he did. So, I've got no problems with that. I mean, my nephew, Richie, he sent us a message talking about it, and, he's... Because where he reads, he said a lot of people are having a go at Morris, and he said what isn't being considered by those who are questioning Morris's professionalism is the fact that Walsh continued to argue his innocence, first with the ref, then seemingly with Morris afterwards, even though he was already told to leave the pitch. If he'd just walked off, none of it would have happened. And I think you should just walk off, because the decision isn't going to change, is it?
No, you can't change it. You're not wrong there.
He did finish the message. Aside from that, we're dog shit.
Right, thanks Richie for your contribution. It was nice. If you think about our promotion season, we had 4 red cards. Last season, no red cards, and this season already 4 red cards. 2 for Walsh. A lack of discipline.
It is. You can't say it's anything else. I mean, because they're saying that Walsh isn't that type of player, and that's absolutely fine. But we also, whether it's a lack of time or whatever, but we haven't seen him sort of controlling the midfield and pulling the strings with his passing and stuff like that. Am I right that we signed him quite late on in the transfer window?
Yeah, because he got released by Swansea, because I believe he played about 30 games in 4 years.
Yeah. See,
unfit. This is because I had a doubt about him as well when we first signed him. I thought, don't get me wrong, I've seen him play before. I thought, he looks like a good player. But playing 30 games or whatever in 4 years? Nah. No. And what is it this season? Was it 120 something minutes he's played this season, and he's been sent off twice? That's disgusting. That's piss poor.
Yeah,
that is really poor.
It's not.
To me, it stinks of one of those panic signings towards the end of the window when we haven't got who we probably wanted to. And
sorry to interrupt. But is it sort of like he has a rush of blood because he really wants to impress and he thinks he can make the big challenges?
It could well be, but if you're a professional footballer, day in day out, you've got to be able to compose yourself. Because it's likely to be a 4-game ban for this, 3 and 1 because of the previous one. So a lot of people think it's going to be a 4-game ban. I don't know if that decision's been made yet. I don't know.
Is it not a 2-game ban for an automatic red card?
No, it's 3. And if it's your second one, you normally get an additional game as well. So there's 4 games where he's not going to be able to get into any sort of rhythm and stuff like that. Before you know it, his season's going to be over. It just seems that it's gone completely wrong.
Well, he is a scouser, isn't he? Come on.
And on that note...
Point Bim?
On that note...
I don't want to say, I don't want to offend people, but I'm joking.
We asked you guys, Carlton's reaction to the send-off. Is it justified as the club captain or a little harsh? Dave says, absolutely justified. Even though the game had probably gone, we stretched for numbers as it is, and Walsh will now miss another 3, maybe even 4 games. But at least he gets Christmas off. Dan said, thought it was unacceptable from Morris, particularly when he's captain. Completely understand his frustration, but the aggression he showed should be for behind closed doors. Stupid tackle, but Walsh is not the reason we lost Saturday, nor the reason we've been play poor all season. Larrick says discipline worsens as confidence drops, so tackles go in later, whether from frustration or mistiming. Back chat happens more. Morris was a little bit harsh. I imagine he apologised.
I'll be honest, I disagree with these ones. I don't think Morris was out of order at all. I think Morris actually gives a shit, and he actually, I'm not saying that I'm correct in what I'm saying, but I think most of us would have done what Morris did.
Okay.
I would have done because Walsh is taller than me.
Right.
Yeah, literally no one else would say that other than you. Yeah.
We're finished with Nazrol, who says Carlton's reaction was absolutely justified as club captain. Walsh's second red for an identical offence is unacceptable in a relegation battle. We're lacking focus and accountability under pressure. It's hard to argue with any of that. Let's hope form changes. Can we finish this pod with some good news? I mean, Derby County next. Let's go do those stupid... Derby County next at home. Right, Darren's not here, so let's just pick up your scores. I don't care.
Yeah, well, Jacob's gone for 3-0.
Oh, my score.
Yeah, and Darren's gone for 2-2.
Well, Darren is just trying to win the league.
Yeah. So you've gone 3-0 as well, have you, Dave?
I have.
Okay, Bataro?
Take your time. We've got 5 minutes.
Do you know what? I'm going for another 2-1 win.
2-1. I'll take
Because I
that.
believe I got the prediction right. Was it last Wednesday?
You did,
Tuesday,
yeah.
whatever it was.
You did.
Yeah.
Stoke game, yeah, you
Thank
did.
you. I just thought I'd raise that because no one,
Well,
no
I
one
think-
was applauding me for that.
But no one's bothered about that. So
Exactly,
let's move
that's
on.
what I mean.
3-1 if you're interested.
I'm sorry, Steve. I thought you said yours out.
3-1's the Mighty Hatters.
Let's finish on some good news then. Let's finish some good news. There's got to be some around. No. I guess no, there is actually. There is. Power Court.
Yeah.
It's finally been rubber stamped, hasn't it? As we're recording, we understand that it's all been approved. So that means the stadium is definitely going to happen. And if you haven't seen the new rendered pictures on the official website, you should go look. It looks superb. You can't imagine that we're going to be in a stadium like that. And I've said before, and I know a lot of people will just go back and go, well, if we don't stay up this season, it's not worth it and all that stuff. But
There's a longer term project.
the longer term project there is you've got to look at what Brentford have done. You've got to look at what Brighton have done. You've got to look at those sort of teams that have just relocated and re-established themselves as a team. And so if it doesn't go well this season or next season, when that stadium's in and up and running, I
We'll
think...
be in debt. Oh, no.
No, but I think we're in for good things, and I can't wait for it to start getting built.
Yeah.
Because I drive past it quite a lot in my job. And,
Yeah, no,
there's a lot of groundwork
All right,
being
Dave,
done
we
right
get
now.
it. You
Yeah.
drive for a living.
Yeah,
Christ.
no, it is really good news, because the substation's almost, the new substation's almost finished now, and I think that was one of the big headaches for the project. So yeah, no, it's great, and as you say, when you start seeing it sort of raised from the floor, that's going to be something else.
A lot of us, especially
You get
people...
excited, then you see. I see you.
Yeah,
I see him doing this. You go, "Ooh!" Fuzz his
Yeah.
hands together like that. I've never seen him do that before.
I think, Batara, you've got to be fair here, right? So a lot of the younger people won't have a connection to Kenilworth Road like a lot of us older
No, of
people
course.
do.
Yeah.
They'll go, oh, it's a crappy ground, but it's not. It's our ground, and it's amazing when you're in there.
I mean,
and
I
it's
hope,
going well.
I hope you're not referring to me back in, like, as in
No,
older
no.
people. Obviously,
No.
younger people. Because
No, it was me. I'm the older people.
No. What I meant was, obviously, like from my point of view, obviously, I'm a younger person. Well, compared to you, Dave, anyway. Anyway, sorry, mate, and you, Steve, obviously. But what I'm saying is, I'll be honest. The thought of leaving Kenilworth Road does really upset me.
Well, it would do because it's been our home for a long time, and people like me have been going for a long, long time.
Yeah, but every fan that's there though, that ground has been our whole life with regards to following football. So I can see that last home game. People are still going to be there 2-3 hours later. No one's going to want to leave.
Well, I reckon you get kicked out, Steve.
Well, they'll have to capture him. But you think of the amount of the amount of ghosts, the amount of personal stories, the amount of personal memories, and the highs and lows that every person and family will associate with that ground.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hell of a day.
Well, when that comes up, we'll do a proper special on it, and we'll get everybody to give us some voice stuff on that. No, but anyway, that's a way in the future. But it's a really, it's been a long, long wait for this to happen, and there'll be young people that will only know the new stadium at some point. So you just have to think further than now.
I just really
think further than now.
I just really hope I get to take my son to that ground. I'll be honest.
100% you will.
I do. That's the main thing for me. Obviously, my boy in football, I want to take him to Kenilworth Road, and if he turns around and says, "Dad, this is a shithole," I will slap him in the back of the head and go, "Well, son, no, some respect. This is history. It's not history at school. This is real history."
Just as an aside, all the other things that are going on, if I just said lost, drew, lost, we wouldn't be talking about us, would we? We'd be talking about Manchester City and Pep. Now, if he gets sacked, shall we go and get him?
What with Millwall after Mourinho as well?
Yeah, why not? This should be fun, shouldn't it? You see,
Christ, what he's on in a week, we probably couldn't give him in a year.
or two.
Yeah.
It's crazy, isn't it? Yeah. Absolutely, look at them, and they're failing and we're moaning.
I think it's hysterically funny though. I love it.
Yeah, it's fun, isn't it? Derby County then Friday night under the lights, Kenilworth Road. We need to win that game, don't we?
Absolutely, yes.
And I think we will.
And it's on TV, so let's just hope we don't let ourselves down. After the Derby game, obviously Christmas, and then we got the Christmas fixtures, which we'll talk about. We'll do post-Derby, obviously. And we'll talk about what's coming up over Christmas. But look out for us if you're at the game. Say hello. We always like to say hello to you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening tonight. If you've not already, and I know I say every week, if you like and subscribe on YouTube, that's fantastic. If you're currently on Spotify or iTunes or wherever else you listen to your podcasts, go over to YouTube just for one episode. Press like and subscribe. That'd be really helpful to us. We'll see you after the Derby game. Let's hope we get a good result there. And
hopefully,
come on, you Hatters.
Thanks very much.